Hello and welcome to the Canaries Chat podcast. My name is Luke and I'm here with my co-host Chris. And like always, we'll be talking all things Norwich City. Chris, how are you, mate? You all okay?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, buddy. How are you?
Yeah, good. Very, very good. We've had a quite interesting week this week, haven't we? With Norwich and transfer news and things going on. It's been a bit of a whirlwind of a week, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the big one's the Adam Eder news, but I'm sure we'll come on to that later on in the pod.
Yeah, defo. I think there's been a lot of transfer rumours, hasn't there? Some more to it than than others, but we'll definitely speak about that in a little bit. As always, we'll start with a shout out from last week. Is a question that we finished up on. The correct answer was zero. The men's national team have never actually played a game at Carrow. Did you know that, Chris?
I didn't. I know the women's team have obviously played there a few times, but
Yeah, and I
yeah,
have a memory as a kid going to watch the under 21s there as well, weirdly. Something with school. But yeah, the main men's team has never actually played at Carrow Road. So zero was correct answer, and there was one person that got that right, and it's a username of the Swats on Spotify. So well done. And like always, we'll be finishing up this podcast with another question for you guys to answer as well. Um, a little bit like last week, we'll just kick off a little bit about England because that seems to be quite the topic at the moment. We made some predictions, didn't we, Chris, for the game on Saturday? How do you kind of feel like it went overall?
basically exactly how I thought it was going to go. I think I
Mhm.
predicted 1-0 England, but it was the same old, same old. I think we looked significantly better when Saka went to left back. I think I mentioned last week on the pod that we need a left-footed left back to allow those overlapping runs. I think it was like however many years it was since we beat Germany in the Euros, and you watch the highlights back. Both of our goals there came from overlapping runs with a left-footed cross into the box, and I
Yeah,
think as soon as you start playing a right-footed player at left back, it's not going to work. But I know there's rumours at the moment that we're going to be playing a 3 or 5 at the back against
yeah, I've
England.
seen
Saka left wing back. So
that
I,
excites me. I can't lie.
I think you'd say it fits the personnel more, doesn't it? You'd have
Yeah,
Konza, well, I'd go Konza, Stones, Walker, and then Trent right wing back, Saka left wing back. I think it was rumoured Mainu Rice, and then Jude Foden in the 10, both in the 10, Kane up top. But yeah,
yeah.
I'd be more than happy with that. I just don't know what Gordon has to do to get a game though.
Yeah, it's silly. He's been one of the good outlets, hasn't he, recently? And he didn't even play a part, did he, in the last game? And I think Gay getting that yellow was a big impact on why we have to go free at the back this time. I don't think if he would have missed this game, we would have probably done that formation. I reckon Southgate would have probably stuck with it because he's that type of manager to not really change things, isn't he? So I feel like that has a big part to play in why that formation is being changed. Um,
I think Trippier
Overall,
being injured as well. Like I
yeah,
think I think he trusted Trippier to be a right-footed left back.
yeah,
I don't think he can. I mean, Joe Gomez has done a relatively decent job at Liverpool doing it, but I don't think he likes Joe Gomez or trusts Joe Gomez to do that.
no,
So
exactly that.
I think that's part of the issue.
Yeah, I agree. I was, like all England fans, I was very nervous towards the end because although we won the game and obviously we're through to the next round, it just seems we're nowhere near the standard I feel the fans know we can get to, and I hope the players probably know that as well because the 80 minutes of that game was awful. It was absolutely awful, and I'm really surprised that Southgate stuck with it and only really changed Manu in the middle. I thought he was going to make a lot more changes, but he didn't. But hopefully, this new team that with the three at the back is something different. I will also say Switzerland won't be a rollover as well. They're a very
No,
good team.
no, absolutely. And I also think, I know we haven't hit the heights we'd expect to hit, but I think obviously Spain have looked very good.
Yeah.
Germany have looked all right. I mean, Denmark gave them a good game. I don't think France are anywhere near what
No. They haven't
you're
actually
worried about.
scored yet from open play, have they?
No, and then you've got Portugal, which on their
We're
day
lucky.
they can be a menace on their day. Like you
Yeah.
can't discount them, but I think controversially, Martinez not having the bottle to drop Ronaldo, I don't think is helping them. I think if you're an opposition player, yes, you get like the I'm playing against Ronaldo, but if he's starting, I don't think he's that effective. If he comes on, I think that's when you probably get them going like, oh damn, like we've just played 80 minutes, 70 minutes, and now one of the best players
Agreed.
of all time's coming on.
That's
But
why their last manager got dropped, wasn't it? Because he dropped Ronaldo and they didn't
yeah,
like it.
I just think you've probably got to trust Jota now to step up and then bring Ronaldo on, but that won't happen either, I don't think.
No, I agree. And I think there needs to be way more respect on Jude Bellingham as well, because the hate that he gets is all social media driven. Because everyone that talks about him in the moment absolutely loves him in person. It's just social media that is absolutely slating him. I know he probably hadn't had the best couple games as he'd like, but what a clutch moment that was right at the end of that game.
I think he's a clutch player, but he has to start. I'm not saying he doesn't, but the thing that really annoyed me was just every single time he was touched in that game, he just went down, rolled around, and was just waiting for the free kick or waiting for the referee to come back. I just think when we're losing 1-0, you just can't. You just got to get up. And I think that's why I was so impressed with Palmer when he came on. I think
Yeah,
when Palmer came on, he weren't waiting for Carl Walker to come and take the throw-ins. He was just taking the throw-ins. He was getting the game moving and
yeah.
picking up the pace with it. And I think that's what we needed.
I think a lot of the throwing on the floor and things came down to desperation, didn't it, at the end of the day?
Yeah, yeah. But I was getting to the point where it's like every time he was touched, he went down. I was thinking, but
Yeah,
you
defo.
can never drop him.
No, of
He's
course not.
I know. I think Graham Souness said, was it Graham Souness or Roy Keane said he weren't world class at this moment in time. I think he's got to fall into that category. But yeah, I
Mm,
don't think any of our players have necessarily, apart from Gay, I don't think anyone's kind of shown their ability, whether they're world class or top class. Like I don't think anyone's really
defo.
showing just how good they are.
hmm Yeah, no, I agree. So, what do you think well, just before we go on to Norwich, what do you think the score prediction's going to be on Saturday? What do you think it's going to be?
I think it could be 1-1 and England on penalties.
Yeah,
That's my prediction. What,
bold.
what about you?
I'm going to go for the same. I'm going to go for a 2-1 England win.
Yeah, and again, Switzerland are very good, but they did draw against Scotland.
Yeah, true.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I think just before we move into Norwich, the most nuts thing out of this whole thing is either England, Switzerland, Netherlands, or Turkey are going to get to a Euro Championship final.
Yeah, I mean, you could have a semi-final of Switzerland Turkey.
Yeah,
I don't think.
with either one of them getting to a final.
Yeah, I don't think that's mental either way. Switzerland can definitely beat us, and I think Turkey on their day can definitely give Netherlands a game. I'm not saying they'll necessarily beat them, but I think
Yeah,
Netherlands aren't like this all-encompassing beast that you see like Spain are, for example. They showed that
yeah,
against Austria, didn't they?
yeah. Tomorrow is a big day for football, isn't it? What a lineup we have for a Friday night for football fixtures. You know, we're starting off 5 o'clock, Spain, Germany, then 8 o'clock, Portugal, France. What a night of football that is.
What are we thinking? I'm going to go with Spain, and I could see Portugal beating France.
I'm gonna go bold. I think they're both gonna go penalties.
Both penalties. Ooh.
Yeah, I
But
just
who's
I
getting
could
through? I
I
think
think
Portugal don't lose a shootout now. After that, I think their confidence will be so high. And
I,
you look at the caliber of their penalty takers.
I think France always manage to weirdly find a way to win. So I think France, Spain, Germany, I genuinely don't know. Home advantage obviously helps Germany quite a bit. They've looked good, not as well against that in that Denmark game, but they're still definitely got the quality there. Spain, they're on another level at the minute. Again, same for both teams. They haven't really come up against tough opponents, so that'll be a good game. But I can see Germany edging it.
So you're
I
going Germany,
think.
France, and I'm going Spain, Portugal.
I really think we're going to see an England Germany final.
Or I don't know if I could handle it. To be honest, I wouldn't want any of them on the other side.
The thing is, a final's just a one-off game, isn't it? It literally could go either way. But the Southgate hate, I get it. It's not been good. It's been quite negative. But if you look at what he's achieved with England, especially gets us into a final again, two Europe finals, a semi-final of the World Cup, quarter-final of the World Cup, done all right in the Nations League. You got to say his stint as England manager has been up there in recent times, isn't it?
I mean, statistically, he's the second best manager we've ever had. But I don't think getting to finals is anything to celebrate if you don't necessarily win them. But I equally think that we're not going to change it halfway through a tournament. So at this point, you've kind of just got to back him. If we win the Euros by playing this defensive football, very similar to Portugal 2016,
Yeah.
no one's going to care about the football.
Hmm.
But it's like I think I said last week. You've got if you're playing this way, you have to win.
Yeah.
If you don't win, you can't continue. So I did see a few people get caught out by slow sports news saying that Southgate had signed a 2-year extension.
That always gets a few, doesn't it?
Yeah, it got me slightly. I was like, okay, but yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. It's the same old. You come away from every England game and you go, God, that was tragic. And then it gets like the day before or a couple of days before the next England game, and you go, oh, you know what? This one might be the one that changes it for us. We might,
Yeah.
but I think change formation could work for us. I know Phil Foden came out and said basically the manager's telling us to do this, this, and this, and we're the players and we're not implementing it. So,
Mm.
but
Yeah.
Rice came out firing for him. Like he's clearly got the players to onside and playing for him, and whilst they're playing and willing to I think Declan Rice said they're willing to die for him. He's
Yeah.
doing something right in the dressing room, so you've got to kind of back it
Good.
until
Yeah.
after the tournament for me.
Perfect. Lovely. Right. Well, enough England talk. Let's hope they bring it home and obviously get through to semi-finals on Saturday. But we'll now talk about Norwich. That's why we're all here. As I said at the start, what a hectic week in regards to transfers, kit news, Thorup taking his first fitness session. It's been absolutely manic. Right, what we'll do is start with some of the transfer news, and we'll I think what's best if we go for a bit of a recap of some of the stuff that we reported on last week and see if anything's come to light with that. So, first one, Vanderlan, the left back from Brazil. So it looks like we were interested in him, but it's come to light that apparently we were never actually interested in him. We potentially wanted him on a loan for a season, got rejected, and now Benfica are sniffing around him.
Yeah, I think that one's dead in the water really. But I
That
mean,
one is a
we
no-go, isn't it?
yeah, we're clearly in the market for a left back. I think we're still going to be linked with all sorts of random names that we've ever heard of, and
Yeah,
that is just the beauty of being a Norwich City fan at the moment.
exactly.
You're
Always
not going to have
happens.
kind of the big names now, and I think that's what everyone enjoys about it.
Yeah, defo. Vanderland, no. We now go on to Nunes. So that again, that's another one that seems to have been quieting it down a bit. I've read somewhere they're at the Turkish team are actually getting quite frustrated with us at the moment, apparently, and looking elsewhere because of our valuation of him.
Yeah, I mean, I think we said it again like last week. He's not. If we sold him for 4 odd million, which is criminal, especially if I mean, we'll probably come on to Sarah or um in a little bit, but if Sarah goes, which there's a potential he does, I think Nunes is going to be like instrumental for us. So we can't be, in my opinion, we can't be letting him go unless a like silly money bid comes in for him.
Yeah, defo. Nunez is looking likely to stay at the moment. Again, anything can change. We've still got another 2 months nearly until the window shuts, so anything can change. Um, well, you said it there. Why not? Let's go on to it. Gabriel Sara. We're going to be
Yes.
talking about him quite a lot, I feel, over the next 2 months. So the initial reporting was that Roman wanted to put a 20 to 25 million pound bid in for him. It's actually come to light that that wasn't true, and they haven't put any bid in for him at the moment, and that are interested. There's a lot of accounts on X that are reporting that Sarah going to Roma, which isn't true. Um, Hernandez done a TikTok, obviously recording him, and he said he was happy here. I think you got to take that with a pinch of salt, but it's looking like Roma is a no go.
It is, and well, it seems like Roma are looking to sign every centre midfielder they possibly can at the moment. But the last thing I saw was, and this is all dependent whether they get it over the line or not, but they're interested in Rabiot. So
Yeah, saw that.
I think if they get Rabiot, that's the sour interest gone, hopefully.
Hmm.
Um, but I've also seen things around Premier League clubs like Crystal Palace sniffing around. So it won't be the last we've heard from Sarah. I mean, I would do whatever we can to keep him, but equally, as previously mentioned, like I'm well aware a rebuild needs to be done, and if he's the main one that we have to sell to do the rebuild, I think we've just got to hold out for the price that we want and take it from there. And if we have to accept it, we have to accept it.
Yeah, I think I saw on X as well that, like you said there, I think Sarah is probably the one that is going to go because Thorup wants to rebuild with his own style, and obviously we need to fund that in one way or another. And obviously you automatically go to the big hitters like we spoke about last week, and I love Sarah to stay. I would love him to stay, but you just can't see it happening. It's just like a matter of when, is it? Can you remember it was the same with Emmy, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, and I think Emmy ended up being like a gentleman's agreement, basically, of you stay with us 1 more year, try and achieve our goals with us. Whatever happens, you're free to go, basically,
Yeah,
which I think is fair enough, and I think that's a good sign between the club and the player that they're both willing to agree and follow through with their word because Emmy gave his absolute all that season,
yeah.
and we repaid him by keeping our word and letting him go. I don't think we're in that situation with Sarah because obviously of last year, I think it would have just been let's see what happens, let's see if we go up. But I don't think there would have been any promises at all around um, what was agreed and bits like that. So fingers crossed, we keep him, and there hasn't been any kind of pre-agreement. But I can't see us keeping a hold of him just to help do the rebuild, really.
Yeah, no, I agree, but let's hope that he stays and we manage to somehow get players in as well as having him in. How nice would it be to be able to build a team around Sarah? It'd just be perfect, wouldn't it? It'd be the dream. But something that football doesn't work like that sometimes, unfortunately. Um, so another one, Kenny McLean was reported that he'd go back to Rangers, his boyhood club that he supports. It's looking like that's fallen through as well. Weirdly, there's a few reports that apparently they didn't agree to the contract that you wanted there. I think I saw somewhere that his agent then put like a load of laughing emojis on X about what was being reported. It seemed a little bit messy, to be honest.
I mean, I'd happily keep him. Um,
Yeah,
I think
just
some of
seemed
it.
odd, didn't it?
I think Thorup will want his kind of stamp on the team and voices in the changing room that hold a lot of sway. I think may also leave this summer so he can build his own kind of group with his own internal voice through the players rather than a voice of players that has had 3 or 4 managers managing them and thinking they know how the club runs and things like that. I think Thorup will want his own stamp on it, and if that means getting rid of Kenny, Grant, Hanley as well, I wouldn't be surprised personally.
So, no, I agree with that one. And the one that has come to light within the last few days is Adam Ida. So it's being reported that Celtic have put in a bid for him to sign permanently with Celtic. It's also being reported that that bid was initially rejected as well. I personally think if we get the right money for him, it's probably best if he goes, like we said last pod. And I think his heart is to leave as well. And I read somewhere as well that he's trying to push a leave to Celtic, and I've seen a bit of mixed reaction from that. But I
Mm,
think if you're in his position, you would want to push and leave to go to somewhere where you know you're probably playing week in, week out, because I think he knows he probably isn't going to get many minutes within Norwich anymore.
I saw that kind of the divide of people saying, well, he's entitled to push, like the kind of hounding that he's had from fans and bits like that. He deserves to like get his own way and leave. And I've seen others say, well, he signed a 5-year contract. It's kind of not in his right to push for a move. I think, to be honest, it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of fence sitting from me, but I think ultimately he signed the 5-year contract. I think it's a position where Norwich can hold out for what they want, which is brilliant. We can afford to do that. Celtic are notorious for trying to lowball off the bat, and they've missed out on deals in the past, like John McGinn, where they've tried to lowball, haven't been able to, and they miss it. So I think their fans are hoping they just stump up 6 million and they get him. But equally, if I'm Adam Eder, do I want to be here? Not really. Fans are already on your back a bit. You've had a relatively good loan season at the boyhood club that you've supported your whole life, and they want you to now join them permanently.
I
It's
I
50-50.
think we'll be silly to not cash in on him. We clearly need the money to fund for more players coming in. Realistically, he isn't going to get a sniff next season with what we've got there. And 4 to 6 million for him, you just got to take it. The contract deal thing was probably silly on Norwich's part more than anything. It was the most ridiculous thing, and even at the time, people couldn't understand why that contract length was so long. I know he signed it, but unfortunately, football can change very, very quickly. And unfortunately, in his case, that has happened. At the end of the day, he's found a club that he loves. He's playing good football. The fans love him. We just need to cash in on him and just get him gone.
I know we put like, I was going to say a tweet up on X, but a post up on X around, because we've had a lot of engagement, like Celtic fans of like, actually, what is the middle ground? What would people be happy with? And a
Mm,
lot of people were saying 4 million, and Mickey Johnston, who was on loan at West Brom and had a
yeah,
decent loan period as well. Like, if we'd got 4 million in him,
yeah,
I'd be very happy with that. And Celtic fans seem pretty happy the opposite way. So I don't.
I'll take that.
I personally don't think we're far off. I think we're probably hold. I think Celtic have offered 4 million, and Norwich have gone. You either pay 6 million or you do 4 million and a player in
Yeah,
effect. And I think that's what we're holding out for. I think the beauty of it now is that because Sarah probably does go, we've got 2 lots of Jolis money coming in. potentially a little bit from Cantwell if he goes to Saudi.
Yeah.
And then, as I said, the Sarum money, that will be enough to form a rebuild and help our finances hold out, play a little bit more hardball, I think, for the Eder
Hmm.
deal to get that over the line and get what we want. But
But
I,
my point is there realistically any reason to play that much of a hardball for a player like him?
probably not, but we're not
Well,
accountable to.
Norwich as a club are notorious to playing hardball, aren't they, with players? I remember a couple of years ago, some club get really, really aggy with us because of how difficult it was to try and sell a player and get a
Yeah,
player from us.
the thing, don't get me wrong. I know people are kicking and screaming about Barley Mumba going, and we were realistically probably a couple of those. But in the past, the money that we've got for the Murphys, Jamal Lewis, Ben Godfrey, don't get it wrong, Ben Godfrey I thought would really, really kick on. But he's now been sold for 10 million, like half the
Hmm.
price we sold him for.
Yeah,
So we've clearly got a strategy when it comes to sale of players. Clearly works. So I'm happy enough to trust the club on that. Yes, we've then got to use the finances to fund that rebuild, fund the replacement. So if we're letting a young striker go, I would be expecting us to now go and buy either a youngish striker or obviously Big Ken signed a contract. You've got to give him the opportunity then buy another kind of backup striker.
yeah. Well, what we'll do is after just a few more is we'll go ideals on who we'd like in, and realistic ones as well. Um, so yeah, it's been manic. I mean, Zaha,
Oh,
what on
well,
earth is that all about?
that screams trying to get engagements on X. That
Yeah,
was, yeah,
ridiculous, isn't it? It's
I couldn't believe.
crazy.
I think someone put it in the thing of us being linked with Quagliarella and Miroslav Klose back in the
Yeah,
day. I think it is on like. I just couldn't believe it, but
so
that's X
silly.
for you, isn't it? They're gonna try and get as much out there as possible, but yeah, not a chance on the Zaha one.
No, exactly that. The the other one was Sergeant to Leeds as well. I don't think that has anything to it. I can't really see him going. But
No,
again,
he,
that
he
was
got
just,
he got a lot of disrespect from Leeds fans today.
yeah, so
Like, I couldn't
so
believe
odd.
it. I thought
It's
his goals per 90 was like
the best in the
0.7.
league, wasn't it?
Like, I don't know if it was by the end of the season, but it was for a lot of the time. I was just thinking, fuck, like,
Yeah,
what is all this about? Like, he would make them better
yeah,
because
definitely.
they're going to lose players as well. Make it better.
Hmm.
Couldn't believe it. But
Crazy, absolutely crazy. Yeah, I think that's it really transfer wise at the moment. Obviously, Cordoba coming in again, having a great spell at Panama at the who are doing really, really well. He's looking really, really exciting. Um, you said you'd probably want a young striker coming in. Who's ideal for you?
put me on the spot.
Or do you have
Uh,
anyone at the moment? You know, you may not have anyone at the minute, but like,
he's
maybe
not.
not a striker, but just anyone in general that you'd like to see come in to the squad, or
He,
anyone that you think we should be looking at.
he's not young, but I feel like he potentially a Grant Holt, not in the way that he plays, but lower divisions, and especially if we've got Big Ken that signed the contract, we've got Sarge, Barnes, we're yet to see kind of will he be in the plans or not. But I just, for some reason, I've got in my head that Macaulay Longstaff from Notts County could be like
That's
the Norwich
bold. That
version
is
of
bold.
Jamie Vardy, the regen of I don't know. I've just got it in my head that I think he's been linked with maybe some championship clubs, and I said I think he's around 26, 27, and I just think something a little bit different. I mean, it won't ever happen. I think our market is well and truly the lower leagues in whether that's Europe or going out to Brazil, but the two that I'm really gutted about is Nathan Woods. I believe it's Nathan Woods from Swansea and Ronnie Edwards from Peterborough going to Southampton both 3 million.
Crazy.
Ronnie Edwards for 3 million. Right, he's a future England centre back. Unbelievable. Nathan Woods. I remember it was this year when Swansea came to our place. He looked unreal.
Yeah.
He looked unreal, like the just the way he played. Russell Martin. Well, obviously Russell Martin knew Nathan Woods from his stint at Swansea, but they're two very good centre backs to go into that team. I'm extremely like that would have been perfect when I was saying last week where it was Cordoba. I'd want Cordoba, Hills. I said we'd leave Hanley as the experience, and then another centre back. That other centre back should have been Ronnie Edwards. I'd have been loving life, genuinely gutted. He's gone to Southampton, and we didn't make an approach.
Yeah. Defo. No, I
There's always
agree.
Eric Cashin though. He's
Oh
always
God.
get linked.
Yeah, cash in. Yeah, we need to drop that one. Just like Knutson as our new manager. We need to
Yeah.
drop it. I'm gonna keep banging on about it. I want Oliver Skip.
Oh,
I just want him back at Norwich. Come home, sweet prince.
I mean,
Just please.
everyone wants him, but I don't think he wants us.
I just want him. I just want him back. That's my dream signing. I mean, potentially Reece Nelson on a loan from Arsenal.
No, I think they've both had a taste of starting in the Premier League. I can't
Yeah.
see either of them wanting to drop down to the
So did Billy Gilmore. Look what happened with him. He came over here, and yeah, actually, we all know what.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not. But yeah, who's that Peterborough left back?
Harrison Burrows.
Is it Harrison Burrows? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd like to see him.
He's another one that, like, I'm not saying I'm a Peterborough FC expert, but whenever I've seen him play, he looked very good,
Yeah.
good indeed. And
No, I'd love to see him.
and I think he's an achievable target. Like he'd be a couple of million max.
Defo, and we need the left back.
Yeah, need left back, and he can play midfield.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I really want us to go for him. I think it would do really good. But we're linked with that. Is it Freese? Is that him? Is that how you say it? The left back from Thorup's last team?
Yeah. Well, he's left on a free, isn't he? But I don't know if that one maybe already had been across the line if he was coming.
Yeah, maybe. We don't know.
Not 100% sure.
Yeah. I will just also say as well, just whilst we're on the topic of transfers, rivals down the road, although I don't like talking about them much, they're looking to have a very, very good transfer window. And as much as it absolutely kills me, they're doing very good business, and I'm very, very jealous of them. I cannot lie.
Well, there was talk of them going for the double sweep in Hull.
Greaves and Phil, I can't say his name. Philongi, is it?
Yeah, there was talks of them going for the double sweep there, but then
30 mil altogether, wasn't it?
yeah, which won't happen. Like they're worth more than that.
I've read somewhere that it's
talks
nearly nailed on.
Well, there's talks that they've gone in again for Greaves on his own.
He's a very good centre back, though. He's unbelievable. He had a really good year last year.
He's very, very good, but apparently they've offered big money for him. My thing was like Amari Hutchinson. He's a good player, but he technically does not improve them because he was here last year. He weren't starting every game for him. I'm no Ipswich expert. Like I just don't think they improved. Whereas I think them getting Greaves is very big improvement. He's Premier League quality.
Yeah. Ben Johnson from West Ham as well. Very good signing.
Yeah, agreed.
Definitely.
Well, they've obviously got money. You know,
They're going for it, aren't they? And
yeah.
I think that's what makes me jealous is like We've I just don't feel like we've ever done that to that scale. I think we're very, very conservative as a club on where our money goes, and I know there's a fear of going back in debt again. And I know in recent years we kind of did try a little bit, but the recruitment that year we did go big was so poor with the players that we got in,
The thing
and
is,
off.
we didn't really go big. We spread the risk. We're a
Mhm.
very risk adverse club there.
Yeah,
We spread the risk across. Was it Rashika, Sargent, and Jolis all that year? Was Sarge that year as well?
yeah, we got Gilmore in,
So
we got
they
Brandon
were all
Williams
around.
in,
They were around
Kabak.
10 million, weren't they? And I think we ended up
Yeah,
spending
yeah.
about 60 altogether across like 8 or 9 players. So like
Hmm.
really, we're spending about 8 million a player, which is big for us, right? But Premier League wise, that's not a lot at all. Whereas 25 million or 20 million on Greaves takes Ipswich to that next level. It's a slightly higher risk, but also, yes, financially it's 20 million, but if they got relegated, I don't see Greaves staying with them. And
Yeah.
I don't see his value dropping to more than 10 odd million. So in effect,
Hmm.
they're gambling 10 million
I agree.
and the player's wage. So I think that would be like it's said like there's no kind of love between us and Ipswich, but I think that would be a very very good signing. I think Ben Johnson is a very good pickup. But I think if they carry on the way they're going, I'm not going to say they'll stay up, but they're positioning themselves well with how kind of rich their owners are. It's not really a kind of shit or bust situation like going forwards. They've got it feels nearly the very opposite of Luton. I felt like Luton were trying to build a very, very good championship team, then
Yeah.
survive in the Premier League. And if they didn't, they're going into the championship in a very good situation. Whereas I think Ipswich will go for we will try and build a team that can finish 17th.
Yeah, definitely.
And if they
They're
go
doing
down,
everything right, aren't they?
yeah, but if they go down, I think that is when the players they probably buy this year will leave, and then they're kind of in a similar situation, and potentially even worse off than what they were this year, and that's when the troubles arise. But yeah, as I said, if they get Greaves over the line, I think that's a huge signing, really.
Yeah, definitely. I'm very, very jealous of them, but fair play to them. They're clearly going all out. They clearly want to try and be an established Premier League team going forward, and I respect them for that. But as we've seen in recent years, the gap these days is just so big,
Yeah,
and
I
unfortunately,
mean,
you could spend all the money in the world, but it doesn't really necessarily mean a lot.
yeah. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I hope they go down with record least amount of points possible, and they beat Derby's record. So
But at least they went for it.
yeah,
So
hang that one in
yeah,
your trophy cabinet.
yeah, defo. But fair play to them. Very, very jealous. They seem to be going for it. I just wish we had a bit of oomph as well about us with things. So, but yeah, enough of Ipswich chat. That's not what we're here for.
Yeah.
But yeah, a very, very manic week in the Norwich City transfer regard. I expect the next couple months to be very, very up down. I expect to see more Rowe links, more Sarah links, probably more Nunez links, probably more Kenny links. Um, so yeah, expect that to be very, very up down, and I'm excited to see how our team will look come first game of the season. We did put a post up on X about who should be the Norwich captain going forward, because at the moment it's still Grant Hanley. Obviously, that hasn't changed, but he hasn't really been playing a lot last season. He never really got back from that injury, and Kenny obviously took over the realm of that. And it caused a little bit of a debate on it, to be fair. It's, Hanley has been playing well for Scotland, but realistically, does he actually get back into that Norwich team over the likes of Duffy, or even a new centre back that may come into that place, one of the youngsters maybe, or a new signing? So Who would you like to see as captain next year, and what do you think about Hanley and his potential future?
If Hanley's still at the club, he'll still be club captain. Like, I don't think that will change personally. I wouldn't mind him staying for experience, but I don't think he will. One, because he might leave, but also I just can't see it happening personally. Ken, again, if Kenny's here, it'll be Kenny. If he's not, I think we're then searching a bit more. Tell you who I don't think's a terrible shout, but people may disagree with me. But he's maybe the only one that doesn't have any competition. I don't think he'll leave, and I think he embodies everything that we need, and that's Jack Stacey.
Okay, I wasn't expecting that.
Having a goalkeeper as your captain can work, but I don't think it's overly ideal. It won't be Cordova. I think we'll sign another centre back that will play with him. There's going to be a new left back. Jack Stacey, I think, will be right back. McLean may be gone. Nunes, I don't think will be captain. Rose injured too much, won't be captain, and
Signs
very
won't be.
you very rarely have wingers as captains. We have no idea who's going to be playing that central attacking midfield role. Do I think Josh Sargent is captain material? No. Like, and that's not in a horrible way, but his job's to put the ball in the back of the net. I don't think he's one who's going to rattle people or get the crowd going with things. Whereas I think Jack Stacey, yes, I think he maybe comes across a little bit quiet. The way that he presents himself on the pitch, his work ethic. I mean, we both go to the games. Like, I think he is quite vocal in the way that he plays. He is slightly older than maybe some of the other guys in the team, so I wouldn't mind Jack Stacey personally, but I'm not saying that will happen because I think I'm hoping Kenny doesn't go and then Kenny can be captain.
I think if Kenny doesn't go now, he will probably end up retiring at Norwich.
And I would love that, and I would petition for his statue to be built.
And I agree. I think for me, it's got to be Kenny going forward. I can't see Hanley getting back in that Norwich squad, unfortunately. And I can see us going in the direction of the youth. And I think that's the direction, from what I've seen, Thorup wants to take Norwich towards as well. And I think he's looking to get rid of the more older experienced players in, and get more of the youngsters in, from what I've seen. So I know probably McLean is that more experienced older player, but I feel he'll kind of use him as a backbone for the youngsters. But I hope McLean stays. It'll probably be him. Centre back wise, I'm not sure what he does next to Cordova. Duffy's got a year left. Hanley's getting more injured. Will he get someone new in? Will he get a youngster? I don't know. I'd love Brad Hills to start. Personally, that'd be my ideal pick. But captain wise, I think it's got to be McLean over anyone else. Another bit of Norwich news as well this week is it's been announced that the kit comes out tomorrow. I think it's at 5 o'clock in the evening. It's normally in
Wow,
the
it's
in the
dead.
morning, isn't it?
Well, I think I've read somewhere it's going to be 9 p.m.,
Right.
which
Okay.
seems very, very late.
Yeah, it seems odd.
But let me pull up the reply from someone.
Well, what we do know at the minute is it's going to be yellow and green, and Blakely are our sponsors. That's almost a certain.
Mm.
Joma are the kit manufacturers,
Yeah, yeah,
and
big up.
we'll have a Norwich badge on it as well, I presume.
Yeah, that'd be a good start.
So I think you can probably start piecing it
Oh no,
together.
so someone said, "What's the specific time, admin?" Someone put probably 9 a.m. and Norwich replied with the tweet says p.m. not a.m. So yeah, maybe 5 p.m. Either way,
Uh,
I shouldn't be this excited for a kit.
Why
But
is there so much hype about this kit?
I
I
think
don't.
it's just think it's just a hype around Norwich. There's new
Yeah,
managers in. We're signing players we don't know. It's just good vibes.
yeah, and they want the kit to go with it, don't they?
Exactly that.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think they said that. I think again on Hernandez's TikTok, he said they done shoots for it on Monday or Tuesday, and they done all three shoots. He said, So I think that confirms that there's a third kit again. So excited to see what they look like. I'll probably be buying majority of them, even though I don't wear football tops at Norwich. I just like to have them. Yeah, we'll see. Looking forward to what that looks like. I'm hoping it's not stripes like it was last year. I really hope we steer away from that.
Yeah, I'm open to all ideas apart from the McDonald's kit of that era because that was terrible.
I'm not sure if you guys have seen, but there was a concept kit that went round on X, and it was awful.
It had like black and white sleeves.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was horrible, wasn't it?
oh yeah, the less said about that, the better for me.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I didn't personally. I didn't really like the stripes last year. I did like those thin stripes that we had the year before,
Pinstripe.
but they were
Yeah.
really, really, faint, and I thought it looked really smart. But having those thick hoops, I don't think that was the
It
way to
was
go.
it wasn't terrible, but I think we had three iconic kits the year before, so like the expectations were very high.
You're never beating that, are you?
No, I think the pinstripes was so nice, and I think Watford have done a similar thing this year, and that's looking nice. So, but as I
You
said, I'm open to all ideas. Let's have it. I'm just excited for a new kit.
And I think as well, regardless of what you think of it, you just get used to it by week 5, don't you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You don't really take much notice after a while. It's just one of the things where it's just you see them playing it so much, you're then just so used to it.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
Not much is really said about it after the first couple of weeks, is it? So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, it looks nice. I'm looking forward to it. And I've also been seen photos as well of all the safe standing that's been put up as well, in the stadium as well. It looks pretty smart. I think there's yellow barriers in like the snake pit area and green along the Barclay. So yeah, another good addition to Carrow Road. I think that's one that's been on the agenda for a long while, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think it's that next step for creating a better atmosphere. I know some people don't like the drum. The matter of fact is the drum makes a better atmosphere. I think safe standing does the same. So I think combining the both should hopefully help because when Carrow gets going, it is good. But I mean, it has not been. Ipswich last year was one of the best atmospheres I've ever experienced. Apart from that, the last couple of years, if we're honest, has just been graveyard in there. Like,
Yeah, the drum over the last couple of years has been quite a hot topic, isn't it? Let's be real. There's a camp of people that love it. There's a camp of people that don't like it. It's like Marmite, isn't it? I like it. I do feel like it does add something, but I can't lie. I think I don't think the issue is actually the drum. I think it's the football to get behind has actually been the issue because when we're 1 goal down, we're playing absolutely awful and there's nothing to get behind. The last thing I want to hear is a drum banging in the background to try and get me to enjoy it when it's just absolutely woeful. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I can only get behind the drum if there's something there in front of me to get behind, and I feel like sometimes it's so forced to try and get us behind, but when we're not playing well and when the performances have been crap, especially last year away, I went to quite a few. You just think like just not now. I'm not in the mood to get behind this right now, and I think the drama is very dependent on the
it's that
performance and how they're allowed to do it in front on the actual pitch.
it's that age old question though of like whose responsibility is it to get the atmosphere going? Is it the crowd to get behind the team, or is it the team to spare on the crowd?
It's a bit of both, isn't it? It works both ways at the end of the day, and the issue is we're so reliant on this drum. I think when we went up on the Fark, we had a good atmosphere then. There's no
Yeah,
drum there, and I'll be honest, the atmosphere at Carrow Road is just diabolical.
yeah,
Last year it was rubbish. It's so bad. We need to do something about that and get behind them more, because it's not been the same as it has been recent years. It's so quiet, and I know there's fans that want to just to enjoy football. I'm not saying everyone needs to scream for 90 minutes, but We need to get behind them at points because last year it felt like we were getting on the back of them more than we're actually kind of trying to get behind them. But as I said, you can only really get behind what's in front of you. And at times last year it was difficult, weren't it, to
Yeah,
get behind some of the stuff that we saw in front of us.
yeah, it was terrible in places, but new season, new safe standing, same old drum. We'll see what happens.
Exactly, and I think like you touched upon earlier, there's a different feel about it now, isn't there? Change has happened. New manager who likes to bring youngsters in, which Norwich fans love notoriously, don't they? Trying to get some of the youth into the team. Safe standings in, a few good signings, getting rid of some people, getting the money in. I think there's definitely a good feel, but I cannot wait for it to go pear-shaped when we lose our first three. You can
Oh,
just see it happening, can't you? You
yeah.
can just see it happening now. All this
You
hype,
know,
we lose four
you
in a
know,
row, we'll be calling for his head.
what will happen is the standard. Gun will play it out to Cordova. Cordova will play it out to Gun. Everyone will go, "Oh, this is ridiculous! Playing out from the back. We need to get it up the pitch." And then when we do play it up the pitch, it comes back to us, and they'll go, "Oh, we should have played it long. Why is he not? Why is he not playing it to Stacey?" That's
Yeah.
always the way it goes.
They can never win them players, can they, with Norwich
No,
fans? The
no.
expectation is so high.
I
It
think
always has been
sometimes
with
if
Norwich
you just
fans.
listen to people that you sat around,
Yeah.
some of the takes that happen are crazy. And
Yeah.
then you realise actually a lot of people have no idea what they're talking about. So you kind of, I think me and you are very relaxed in our approach. Like we sometimes find a little meltdown from others a little like funny rather than concerning from like what's going on the pitch because I think we're very realistic in what we expect. But yeah, some of the
Yeah.
things that go on are just
It,
baffling.
it it annoys me that a percentage of Carrow Road feel like they're UEFA A licensed coaches. I think they're professionals for a reason, and I just felt at times we were too quick to get back onto them. And although some of the performances weren't good, and I know it was difficult to watch, they know what they're doing at the end of the day. And there were so many times last year where the likes of like Duffy would tell the crowd to calm down, and McLean done it, and a
Mm.
few others done it as well. We're just so quick to get back on them when it isn't going right, and we really need to try and cut that out, I feel, because it's at points last year it was just ridiculous. And the one that sticks out to me was when everyone booed when Sargent got subbed off that time we were trailing, but it came out that he was injured, and it was booing him, and it was just like none of you have any idea in that moment of what's happened and why he's come off. And I feel like there needs to be more trust with what we do because it turns out he got a knock and he was injured, but that that stadium was filled with booze at the time. And then
The
when it
the
came out
drama
that
is
he'd taken
funny
a
though.
knock,
The
yeah, the
drama.
drama about it, you just got to sit back and laugh sometimes. You just think, oh, what on earth is happening here? Last year was, when you look back at it, last year was nuts, wasn't it? It was just
Yeah,
crazy.
I
So many ups and downs, and how we haven't been unbeaten in November since November Carrow Road is beyond me, to be honest. But
yeah,
yeah,
I was just
crazy.
I was just laughing to myself about the Dean Smith era at Luton when he
Yeah, it was like that game that where he started laughing at everyone. That was fun.
yeah,
But we move.
we moved
Hoff
indeed.
is the man to take Norwich forward. I trust, I believe, I have belief in him and Napa that they're going to do what's right for the club, and I'm very much looking excited to see what he brings and the football that he plays as well. So very much look forward to. Yeah, so as always, follow us on X, follow us on TikTok, follow us on Instagram. We're on all the socials. We're looking to do weekly podcasts where we can. all things Norwich City. I expect the next couple of months to be very, very busy as well in regards to transfers and summer games coming up as well. Chris, thank you, my man. It's been a pleasure. Is there anything more that you want to say to all our listeners today?
No, no. As you said, we're on all socials. Canaries Chat on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, and then it's Canaries Chat with two T's, sorry, on X. So drop us a follow. We've got stuff consistently coming out on there, and yeah, we'll keep this pod weekly at the moment and keep across all the Norwich news.
Lovely. Thank you, my man. Well, I hope you have a good week. Can't wait for the next one. And as always, I will leave you with a Norwich City trivia question. And if you get it right, you'll get a shout out at the start of the next pod. So the question this week is, what year did Norwich City start playing at Carrow Road? I'll let you guys think about that one. Have a good one, everyone, and we'll see you all next time.